Morning everybody, this is my 1994 6.5 liter Suburban. It's an update video. Kids running around in the background, so you might hear them. So for updates recently, I got a K47 air intake. It's got a Canon air filter, which I might swap out for a stock one later on, but it's what I had, so I threw it in there. This is 4-inch piping into my knockoff HX35. I had to modify the boost elbow from this bolt hole down to there so that it would fit. In order to put one of these on, you need to have a fitting for your oil feed line to go into it, and then a downpipe adapter. I got this one off of Amazon, but Quadstar Tuning sells them, and there's a couple other vendors that sell them. So they're about, I paid about 150 bucks for mine. This thing, I've had to replace almost the entire AC system in it, which might have been more trouble than it's worth, but you know, that's whatever. My DIY high flow intake, this is 3-inch stainless into a 8¼ inch, I don't remember, base plate welded up together with the Harbor Freight welder, so who knows when it's going to blow up, but it's what I had, so I made it work. I got my boost sensor line tied into it, my air intake, temperature sensor, and boost sensor all tied into that. Let's see what else. Some of these things up here. This one is a oil pressure sensor, oil pressure sensor. It's called a bypass relay. It basically just takes the signal from the switch and sends battery power to the lift pump motor instead of the stock system, which is it runs all the battery power through that little switch in the back of the engine to the lift pump, which causes them to burn out. This relay here is so that the lift pump kicks on when the glow plug cycle. That wasn't a feature on the 1994, but it was on the later models. So it just takes that's a 5 pole relay to do that. And if you did it right, you could actually do the job of both relays with just one, but it's not really been a project of mine to remove that second relay. Some of this other wiring, that yellow wire back there, is for my exhaust gas temperature sensor. I also have like the headlights, heavy duty headlight mod for the from LMC truck. I also have the all on headlight, so when I kick on my high beams, that's what this is over here. That's like $40 from LMC truck. Pretty simple, easy to install. So all this piping, the HX35 goes down there to the pipe, through the wheel well, down to between the frame rails where my intercooler is, and that's just mounted basically using the holes where the skid plate was. And I mounted one bracket to the bumper here, and it's held so far. I just have been too lazy to make another bracket for the other side. That comes over here to the other wheel well, and then up to here. Some of these boost pipes are not knurled, so I don't know how this would handle high boost, but the most boost I've ever seen on my gauge has been like 15, and even that is still kind of high for these engines. Yeah, so the other mods that I've had to do was the Duramax fan, and the clutch. This is the 4-bolt clutch. I have the 98, I think, plus water pump, so it's the high flow. This truck already had a dual thermostat set up when I got it, so I didn't need to do that. and I think it flows pretty well. I've never seen my temperature really get that crazy hot, even remotely close, while I've been towing my camper around, which really hasn't been that much, but yeah, just something to think about. PMD extension harness runs over here to the firewall where heatsink is. It was mounted here when I got it, so I haven't really messed with it. That's a Leroy Diesel PMD. It's one of those things I want to move it down to the bumper, but I haven't got to do that yet. The other thing I've had to do is, I don't know if you can really see it down in there, but that line right there is for the turbo drain. The stock one will fit with an HX35, but that one I ordered from QuadStar for like 150 bucks, and I never have to worry about that thing again. It hasn't leaked at all. It's pretty easy to install. It's just kind of getting your hands down in there and working around, and there's no leaks at all, where the factory setup is just garbage. It's atrocious that's what stock is, if you've ever messed with one of those systems. Blow by is pretty minimal, has a little bit, but it's got 231,000 miles on it, so it's expected to have a little bit of blow by. I don't know if there's really much else to talk about. Some of this other hoses down in here, I purchased a aftermarket transmission cooler. It's kind of just stuck in here. You can see a zip tie holding part of it in there. So the kit that I got that said to use the GM, comes with these big old hoses, and you're supposed to use, like, I don't remember what size it is, kit to make the transmission work, but I'm pretty sure that transmission is for the later models, because this fitting is a lot smaller than what they give you and what they tell you. So I had to basically just, well, this line I had to replace because it was leaking, but so now this transmission cooler is just kind of sitting in here, not being used, because I need to figure out how to get it mounted with the proper fittings, and it's just not been something I've had to deal with. So other than that, the kid's making noises. I'm going. Still have my gauges, my boost gauge, transmission gauge, and my exhaust gas temperature gauge, which I don't know if it's just this gauge, the cable, or whatever, but it would start reading real funny if the cable wasn't, like, basically tight with it. Not so much like plugged in, but like there's tension on it. So this is usually where it sits when I turn it off, but I've had issues with that, and it's past its warranty, so I can't just turn it in and all that. I have a high idle switch that I wired on the dash. My son is trying to come in here with me, so I also have a TCC lock for the OBD1. You can lock the torque converter if you're hauling something. I put it in there, and then I read some things that it's not really useful, so I might take it out. Up here, I've done my own DIY headliner. I had to take the old one out and clean it up, and ripped off the old foam, and it was all just garbage. I gotta clean this up, but that's just little stuff that I haven't devoted any time to. But yeah, I figured I want to try something different, and threw some of this foam on there. It looks pretty good. Just be careful what glue you get. I don't remember what glue I used, but like the 3M stuff that I got off the shelf at the Harbor, or not Harbor Freight, the hardware store, just wasn't cutting it, wasn't holding it up. But yeah, there's that. So there you go.